every time you open your mouth, a silent judgment takes place. People instantly decide, is this someone I must listen to? Or just another person I can ignore? How many times have you fallen into that situation? Standing in a meeting, voicing an idea you believed was brilliant, yet the room sank into cold silence, eyes drifting away, a few glances quickly averted. And in that moment, you knew you had disappeared from the game. Have you ever thought you gave it your all, yet the world still crushed you? Have you ever felt like life is a chessboard, but you never get to hold the rules? And how many times have you told yourself, tomorrow I'll start again, only for tomorrow to never arrive? This is not just a feeling. This is the brutal truth. The world does not care how hard you tried, how much you sacrificed, or how many nights you cried. If you are weak, you will be pushed aside. If you hesitate, others will step over you. And history will never remember your name. Machiavelli once warned, the weak believe that fairness will save them, but the strong understand. Fairness only exists when you have the power to enforce it. But there is another path, the path of the art of rising, not rising to beg for pity, but to turn every scar into armor. Like Caesar after his defeat in Gaul, he did not let the past bury him. He returned with a new army, new discipline, and new ambition to reclaim Rome. Time is not on your side. Opportunities do not repeat. How many things have you missed just because you whispered to yourself, tomorrow? How many times have you regretted letting a day slip away in hesitation? Healing is not burying your pain. Healing is when you look it straight in the eye and train yourself until it no longer controls you. Discipline is not a chain. It is the whip that drives you forward, even when your heart wants to quit. And when you live as if today were your last day, every word, every action becomes an arrow shot straight at the target. No more room for weakness. No more room for hesitation. This is the moment to rise and seize power. If you have ever seen yourself in this situation, write in the comments below, I will rise. And if you are truly brave, write the number. How many times have you fallen in life? 1, 5, or 10? Let the world see you have fallen, but this time you will not stay down. The world does not give you power. You must seize it. Have you ever walked into a room, carrying a brilliant idea in your head, fully confident that you would persuade everyone? You begin to speak, but then you keep adding more, circling around, throwing in extra details, more examples. You fear people won't understand. You fear your idea isn't convincing enough. And when you finally pause to take a breath, you realize the fire in their eyes is gone. Someone checks their phone. Another folds their arms and sighs. You've lost them. Have you ever been that person? Have you ever left a meeting asking yourself, what did I just do? Why did I talk so much? Have you ever replayed your words in your head and realized that if you had stopped at the 2-minute mark, everyone would have nodded? This is the most dangerous trap in the art of communication. Over-explaining, talking too much. Machiavelli once reminded us, the wise man does not strengthen his power through endless words. He strengthens it through brevity, through silence at the right moment. The smartest person in the room is rarely the one who speaks the most. They are the one who makes every word fall like a hammer onto the mind. Each sentence a blade, not many, but sharp enough to carve themselves into memory. In history, Caesar needed only one command, cross the Rubicon, and his entire army followed, changing Rome's destiny. Churchill, in bomb-struck London, did not need hours of speeches. In just a few minutes, with short, cold words, he turned fear into belief, despair into strength. Now look at modern life. A student presenting, trying to explain a simple concept, but circling for 10 minutes until the entire class forgets the main point. A job candidate, nervous, stuffing in endless details, and the interviewer only remembers he wasn't confident. How many times in your own life have you fallen into that trap? Have you ever listened to someone ramble on endlessly until you just wanted them to stop, and then realized sometimes you were that person? Why do we make this mistake? Because we fear being misunderstood. Because we're not certain of ourselves. Because when we don't see the reaction we want, we try to fill the silence with more words. But the more we speak, the more others see our weakness. Remember, silence is also a weapon. A 3-second pause can carry more weight than a flood of explanations. Warren Buffett once said, "The easiest way to increase your personal value by 50% is to sharpen your communication skills." And he never advised speaking more. He advised speaking sharper. So, what's the strategy? Limit yourself. One idea, 2 sentences. The first gives the essence, the second, the proof. Then stop. Practice silence. After speaking, pause for 3 seconds. People will digest your words, and you will gain weight. Challenge yourself. If you need more than 2 minutes to explain an idea, it means you're weak, not clear. Do you dare try it? Right now, pick any idea and try to express it in 30 seconds. No more. Then ask yourself, did they understand? If yes, then every extra word would only have been weakness disguised as strength. Take on this simple challenge. Over the next 24 hours, time every time you speak. If you go beyond 60 seconds, comment below this video, "I talk too much." If you manage to stay concise, comment, "I control my words." And for us to see the true power of this community, share a moment when you failed simply because you talked too much. Write it down. Because admission itself is what prevents repetition. You can win back the attention of a room, not with thousands of words, but with a single sentence. The question is, do you have the discipline to stop at the right moment? Have you ever sat in a room, listening to someone speak, and within seconds you knew for certain you could not trust them? They might be right, they might even have a good idea, but their eyes dart around, their hands fidget, their shoulders curl as if apologizing to the entire world. Do you still want to follow someone like that? Or do you only think, he's unsure, he's not strong enough to lead? Be honest. Have you ever been that person? Have you ever stepped up to present, only for your legs to shake, your hands to cling desperately to something, your eyes to run away from the room? Have you ever felt that, even though your words were right, your power evaporated the moment others looked into your eyes? This is the second mistake, the silent enemy of powerful presence, fidgeting when your body language betrays you. Machiavelli once said, "A leader does not rule by words alone. He rules by the gaze, by the stance, by the stillness that forces others to tread carefully." History repeats this truth. A prince who trembles when he appears, can his soldiers remain loyal? Caesar knew that simply standing tall with a cold gaze was enough to plant certainty in his army's hearts. Napoleon would enter a room without shouting, without spectacle. Just a few slow, precise gestures, and the entire room fell silent. And you? Have you ever asked yourself, how is my body betraying me before I even open my mouth? Do others see a steady leader or a shaky figure trying to look strong? The brutal truth is, people trust your body more than they trust your words. You can promise with language, but if your shoulders hunch, your eyes flee, your hands tremble, they will believe the silent language instead. Today, you see this every day. A job candidate, speaking well of his skills, but with legs shaking under the table, and his career dream vanishes. A student presenting, talking about confidence, but shredding the paper in his hands, and the class sighs in boredom. How many times in your life has your own body betrayed you? Have you ever watched someone tremble and immediately thought, I can't follow them? And do you have the courage to ask, do others think the same about me? So what's the strategy to destroy this mistake? Stand tall like a warrior. Shoulders open, back straight. Movements slow and steady. Control your hands. Don't let them reveal your anxiety. Use them to emphasize, not to seek hiding places. Move with intention. The nervous shuffle constantly. The strong need only one gesture to command silence. Embrace silence with posture. Stand firm, say nothing, and force others to focus on you. Imagine this. You walk into a meeting room. You say nothing. You just stand tall, letting your eyes sweep across. In that moment, you don't ask for attention. You command it. Do you dare try this? I challenge you. Over the next 7 days, record yourself in a conversation. Don't listen to the words. Watch your body. Is it solid or is it betraying you? Then comment one word under this video. Steel if you are in control, weak if your body still controls you. Let the world see where you truly stand. And if you're strong enough, share a moment when your body betrayed you. Write it down, so next time, you won't repeat it. Remember, people do not only listen with their ears, they read you with their eyes. And if their eyes don't believe, their ears never will. There is a kind of failure that makes no noise, yet silently kills every opportunity in your life, waiting for permission. Have you ever been in this situation? A group working on a project, the deadline closing in. Everyone knows they need to start, but no one moves. Everyone waits. Waits for someone to assign. Waits for a nod. Waits for a voice to say, "You be the leader." And when that empty space stretches too long, someone else steps up. Not necessarily better than you, not necessarily more capable, but because they acted first, every eye turned to them. Have you ever seen someone less talented than you become the leader simply because they dared to speak first? Have you ever missed a golden opportunity just because you stayed silent? And how many times have you asked yourself, if I had stepped up that day, would everything have been different? Machiavelli once wrote, "Power is not given. It is seized by the strong." A leader does not sit and wait to be crowned. He crowns himself through decisiveness. I still remember a moment back in university. A group of 4, a major assignment due in 2 weeks. I got sick for a few days. When I returned, I asked, "So, how far have we gone?" And the answer froze me. "We haven't done anything, because we don't have a group leader." In that moment, I could have waited. But I knew if I waited, we would all fail. That night, I wrote a plan, divided the tasks, set deadlines. The next morning, I laid it on the table. Here's how we're going to do it. No one objected. No one asked why I had the right. They just nodded and followed. And from that moment, I became the leader, not because someone gave it to me, but because I seized it. Do you see the truth? A leader is not the one chosen. A leader is the one who steps up while everyone else is still waiting. The decisive one becomes the center. The hesitant one is pushed to the margins. History shows us this over and over. Power vacuums always exist, and the one who fills them writes the rules. When Rome fell into chaos, Caesar stepped up and seized supreme power. When England was drowning under bombs, Churchill did not wait for Parliament to allow him to speak. He stood and declared, with a cold voice, "We shall never surrender." And the nation followed. And you? How many times have you convinced yourself, "When they allow me, I'll begin"? Do you not see that this waiting is killing your opportunities, day after day? Can you admit that the one leading you today may not be better than you, but simply dared to step forward first? The brutal truth is, if you do not step up, someone else will. And once they seize it, you will forever be seen as the follower. So, what's the strategy? Stop asking for permission. Act the moment you see a gap. Create certainty. People follow not because you're always right, but because you decide. Claim the void. Don't let opportunity hover. The first to grab it earns the right to write the law. Do this challenge right now. Recall a moment you lost an opportunity because you waited. Write it in the comments. Don't hide it. When you write, you turn regret into a scar, and scars remind you never to repeat it. If you are truly ready to abandon waiting, comment your declaration. I will no longer wait for permission. And to reveal the strength of this community, if you belong to the side of action, comment the word step up. If you admit you're still on the side of waiting, comment the word wait. Let's see which side is greater. Remember this: those who ask for permission will always live under someone else's rules. Those who seize will write the rules for themselves. There is a kind of weakness that makes no noise, yet it destroys your credibility every single day. Silence when you should speak. Have you ever been in that situation? A colleague makes a clear mistake. The whole group sees it. You see it, and yet you stay silent. You fear upsetting them. You fear being disliked. You fear conflict. And the next day, the mistake repeats. Your credibility drops. No one says it out loud, but in their minds, they record it. He didn't dare face it. He can't be trusted. How many times have you stayed silent to keep the peace, only to regret it that same night? How many times have you walked out of a conversation, scolding yourself, "Why didn't I just say it?" And how many times has your silence slowly taught others to dismiss you? Machiavelli once warned, each time a ruler avoids the truth, he hands a piece of his power to his enemy. Dave Verlinger. At work, every time you fail to give feedback, you lose authority. In relationships, every time you avoid the truth, you allow deceit to grow. In family, every time you stay silent to avoid confrontation, you deepen the distance. In the end, you are no longer the one they trust. You are only a shadow. Have you ever seen a leader lose all respect simply because he would not name the obvious? And do you dare look in the mirror and ask, how many times in my life have I done the same? History shows us great leaders never avoided the truth. Churchill did not paint with false colors. He spoke directly. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. His words did not comfort, but they inspired respect. Because at least, he dared to say the truth no one else would. And you? Are you living in avoidance? How many truths do you know must be said, but you bury them in silence? Do you realize that every silence is like a blade slicing away at your credibility? The brutal truth is this: people never forget the times you stayed silent when they needed your voice. So what's the strategy? Speak the truth. Short, sharp, precise. One clean strike is better than 1,000 vague words. Do not fear displeasing. Displeasing one person is better than losing the respect of all. Keep your voice cold and calm. The one who explodes is dismissed. The one who speaks truth with ice earns fear and respect. Remember, truth is not a burden. It is a weapon. And only the one who dares to wield it is fit to lead. Within the next 48 hours, choose one conversation you've been avoiding. Say it directly. No circling. No apology. Then return here and comment one sentence. I faced the truth. If you still cannot, write, I am still avoiding. Be honest, because honesty itself is the first step of change, and I challenge you. Share a time when you stayed silent, when you should have spoken. Write it. Don't hide it, because once you tell it, you turn the mistake into a scar, and scars remind you never to repeat them. Remember this: the avoider may live in peace for a day, but the one who faces the truth will be respected for a lifetime. There is a kind of leader who inspires respect today, but earns contempt tomorrow. Not because they are incompetent, not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack consistency and allow their emotions to control their power. Have you ever worked for someone like that? Today they smile, encourage the whole team, make you believe anything is possible. But the very next day, the same person walks in with a scowl, barking orders, turning the office into hell. Do you still trust them? Or do you sigh inside, tomorrow will be another nightmare? Have you ever loved someone like that? Gentle today, cold tomorrow. And you lived more in anxiety than in love. And more importantly, do you dare admit that sometimes you are the same? Remember, the most fragile trust is the trust in stability. Machiavelli once warned, "He who cannot rule himself will sooner or later be ruled by another." A leader may commit many mistakes, but if he lets emotions rule him, he smashes the very foundation of his power. I once had a boss like that. Brilliant at his craft, master of every number, but every day he walked in was a gamble. If he was happy at home, we had peace. If he was angry, we became his target. He shouted, cursed, slammed tables. And in the end, no matter how skilled he was, I left. No one wants their fate hanging on the unstable moods of another. Have you ever seen a leader lose respect not because of errors, but because of inconsistency? Do you dare look at yourself and ask, are others living in uncertainty because of my emotions? History shows us the great understood the value of steadiness. Caesar never allowed himself to panic, even when battles turned against him. His calm steadied his army. Churchill, when London was drowning in bombs, did not bring his despair to Parliament. He brought composure, and that composure became a nation's faith. On the other hand, the inconsistent sow chaos. A leader who promises today denies tomorrow. A father gentle today, raging tomorrow for no reason. A partner loving today, cold tomorrow over something trivial. People may forgive mistakes, but they will never be loyal to instability. The brutal truth is this: people don't remember what you said when happy, but they will never forget what you did when angry. So what's the strategy to destroy inconsistency? Pause before reacting. In that silence, you reclaim control. Don't dump personal emotional trash into work. If you're disappointed, handle it privately. Don't make the group pay. Train. Discipline. The inconsistent in personal life are rarely stable at work. Eating, sleeping, exercising, these are the roots of steadiness. Do you dare try tomorrow? When something makes you angry, stay silent for exactly 60 seconds before speaking. Then observe. Did your decision change? Did people see you differently? I want you to comment right now with a single word that describes you when you're angry. Silent, explosive, or cold. One word, but it will tell the world who you are in their eyes. And if you've ever been hurt by someone's inconsistency, a boss, a parent, a lover, write the shortest story you can, because when you write it, you'll never want to repeat that same mistake. Remember this: people do not need a perfect leader, but they need one they can predict. You have walked through all the mistakes. You see clearly the traps holding you down. Speaking too much, letting your body betray you, waiting for permission, avoiding the truth, and living in emotional inconsistency. Each mistake is like an invisible chain, pulling you down, making you small in the eyes of others. But right now, you also see another path, the path of Machiavelli, stripping away weakness, sharpening your presence, and seizing power. Ask yourself, will I continue to live as one bound, or will I rise, break the chains, and reclaim my place? Machiavelli once wrote, "The wise man is not the one who does more, but the one who removes what makes him weak." Power does not come from adding, it comes from subtracting. Remove the habits that make you ordinary. Remove the actions that erode your credibility. Remove the hesitation that makes you invisible. Look back. How many times have you lost others' attention because you spoke too much? How many times has your body betrayed your insecurity? How many times have you stayed silent when you should have spoken? How many times have you waited for someone else to grant you permission to live? How many times has a small outburst of anger destroyed the credibility you spent a year building? Do you dare admit that even a single mistake can ruin everything? And do you have the courage to say, "I will not allow myself to repeat it again"? They are to a help. You can favor attend you, and a faving soul retend of the reself. History shows us, those who step forward, those who dare to seize, leave their mark. Caesar did not turn back after crossing the Rubicon. Churchill, when the British trembled under bombs, did not soothe them with lies. He said it straight. We shall never surrender. Napoleon, once a nobody, through discipline and consistency, made an entire continent tremble. And you? How will your descendants speak of you? As a shadow, or as one who dared to seize power over their life? You do not need to be perfect. You only need to remove what makes you weak. When you speak less, people listen more. When your body is steady, they feel safe. When you do not wait, they follow you. When you face the truth, they respect you. When you are stable, they stay loyal to you. Picture this. You walk into a room, no noise, no display, just silence. But it is that silence that forces every eye upon you. You do not beg for attention, you seize it. Do you dare become that person? If you are ready, leave below one declaration of power. A short, sharp sentence, carved into your memory. I will rise. I will not wait for permission. I turn silence into a weapon. I want to see at least 1,000 declarations appear under this video. Because when you write, you do not only write for yourself. You are swearing before the world that you have chosen the path of power. And here is the final challenge. 30 days of the Machiavellian mindset. In the next 30 days, choose one weak habit over explaining, waiting, avoiding, inconsistency, and eliminate it. Every day, you will grow stronger. Every day, you will become more formidable. And after 30 days, you will no longer be the same person. The final question I leave with you: will you continue to live as one who waits? Or will you rise, seize power, and force others to listen? Answer: not for me, but for your own life.